Shalom. It's your brother Yara, giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachach Wadash for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Shalom to the elect of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, whom the Lord will have mercy on in these latter days. Shalom. Shalom to the men of the Lord, the prophets that are preaching and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. Shalom, shalom. And I have another one. This is regarding the plague and the plagues and the end time. Now we know that there are 7 mighty plagues that are to come by the angels themselves, pursuant to Revelation 16. And these are going to be the final plagues that hit the kingdom of Babylon, which is really spread all over the world. But, we know the seed of that beast is here in America. And I just wanted to get this article to show you how the Most High moves, and in somewhat cyclical ways. He kind of repeats things, and he puts metaphors in the scriptures, and he likens, our captivity and our deliverance to the same thing here, like you have in the days of when we were in Egypt, and we waxed strong to a strong number of people, but we were still under captivity under the Egyptians, and the Most High commanded Moses to go and declare unto Pharaoh to let us go. And the means by which the Most High forced Pharaoh to let us go, because he hardened his heart to keep us enslaved, was plagues. The Most High deals with plagues. He deals with animals to do his bidding, showing you that he's not just the ruler of men, and the kingdom of men, but he's the ruler of the entire planet Earth, all that we can perceive. The Most High is, he's the ultimate power, and that's why we call him the Most High. Let me read this article. It says national parks are being overrun by invasive species. Now what does that sound like? It sounds like a plague. Now, if you know Exodus, and you know this creature that we're looking at here, that's a frog, and there's a mighty plague, in the account of Exodus, about the Most High using frogs as a plague, to unleash on his enemies, which at the time were the Egyptians, who were holding us captive. So let me read this. This is in Hawaii. It says the government estimates that in areas of islands where Kokui have gotten a firm toehold, the population can be as dense as 20,000 frogs to an acre, more than double their average densities in Puerto Rico. As a result, animals are transforming the landscape, angering homeowners, and damaging the ecosystem. So that sounds like a plague when the rate of these things of these frogs are double, and Esau doesn't know how to deal with them because they reproduce so fast, and they eat up things. They change the ecosystem before he can get a hold on them. Now, knowing Esau, he'll just spray poison out there and kill everything, with his scorched earth policy. But that there's a reason the Most High tells us to obey the law, including the dietary laws. It's because the ecosystem gets out of balance, and these things will happen if you don't, basically live the ways of life, which are in the scriptures and the law, But ultimately, I see this as a plague, as a sign that the Most High is doing, to give us, the men of the Lord, the hopeful elect, faith in these latter days, as a sign that he's getting ready to come and rescue us, because this is what he did in Egypt. As a result, the animals are transforming the landscape, angering homeowners and damaging the ecosystem. Hawaiian forests are characterized by their quiet, perhaps because they developed in such isolation from the rest of the world, says park ecologist Davis Benitez Salakia. The Kokui shatter that, which are these frogs. They also prey on native insects in the forest, and that may be affecting the food source for endemic birds. So this is a plague with With a manifest of unique wildlife vulnerable to outside influences, Hawaii Volcano National Park is on the front lines of the invasive species battle. Nationwide, more than 6,500 foreign species have moved into the U.S., collectively causing more damage to the environment, economy, and human health than all natural disasters combined, reports the U.S. Geological Society. So this has been things that hasn't been reported on how royally jacked up the ecosystem is here. Because Esau introduced a bunch of animals that didn't naturally roam around here. You know, and he kills off certain other species. Like he got rid of the buffalo completely, pretty much. He killed various other species, and then he'll invite other invasive species in. You know, and the ecosystem, I believe, is perfect, and the Most High has it balances itself out. But you have to ask, why hasn't it? And now we're seeing reports in these days where they're getting highly problematic. You know, uh, it says half the parks have experienced problems with invasive species. It says Jennifer, the Park Service Invasive Animals Program Coordinator, but we suspect that the vast majority of parks are affected. Now let's get, what will the scripture say when we start seeing things like these? This is Revelation 18:4. It says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins,